All right, listeners, buckle up because today we're diving deep into how to nail a forklift operator interview.
Yeah, prepping for this kind of interview, it's not just about showing you can drive.
You've got that right. We're going to help you demonstrate a deep understanding of the whole warehouse world.
Exactly. And we've got some awesome resources to help us out today.
Oh yeah, for starters, we've got this super detailed career guide. It lays out everything.
All the good stuff, all the challenges. It even talks about the skills you really need to shine.
It's like a roadmap for your forklift career. And then to top it off,
We've got this fantastic interview guide from RoleCatcher, packed with real interview questions.
the kind you'll actually face.
Yeah.
And they even give you tips on crafting those killer answers.
Seriously, it's like having a cheat sheet, you know?
And what's even cooler, they use AI to analyze job descriptions.
So you can tailor your answers to each specific company and role?
Genius, right? So are you ready to fire up those mental forklifts and dive into some questions?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, first up, let's tackle a classic.
How did you get started as a forklift operator?
Sounds simple, but why do you think interviewers love this one?
This question, it's your chance to tell your story.
Your forklift origin story.
Exactly. It's about more than just listing jobs, you know?
It's about showing your personality, what makes you tick.
Yeah, what sparked your passion for this kind of work?
So how can our listeners answer this in a way that really makes them stand out?
Instead of just saying, I've been driving forklifts for 5 years.
Which, let's face it, is kind of boring.
Totally. You could say something like, I've always loved how machines work, you know?
And I get a real kick out of maneuvering big equipment with precision.
Yeah, and then you could talk about your first forklift gig, maybe at a busy distribution center.
You were hooked on the fast-paced environment and the satisfaction of keeping everything flowing.
See, that's so much more engaging.
It paints a picture, right?
Yep.
Now, what kind of follow-up questions might come after an answer like that?
They might dig deeper into that distribution center experience.
Oh, like what were some of the biggest challenges you faced there?
Exactly, or how you handled pressure or what you learned from that role.
They're going to make sure you've really walked the walk, not
Yeah.
just talked the talk.
It's all about backing it up with real experiences.
All right, let's move on to another common one. Walk us through a time you had to navigate a challenging warehouse environment
Okay, this one, it's all about your problem-solving skills.
and your ability to think on your feet, right?
Exactly. Think about tight spaces, crazy obstacles, even bad weather.
Yeah, the career guide actually talks about how important safety and spatial awareness are in those situations
So they're looking for someone who can stay calm, assess the risks.
and find that safe and effective solution.
You got it.
Can you give us a killer example of a challenging situation our listeners could use?
Okay, imagine you got to move a huge pallet through a narrow aisle, like barely any visibility.
Talk about stressful.
Right. So you carefully assess the situation. You use your mirrors, hand signals to communicate with your team.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
And then you maneuver that forklift with total precision.
Avoiding any accidents, of course.
Of course, it shows you're aware of the hazards, you communicate effectively.
And you can handle that forklift like a pro.
Precisely.
Right, now how about this? How do you prioritize tasks when operating a forklift in a busy warehouse?
This one gets at your organizational skills, your ability to juggle a million things at once.
Warehouse life, am I right?
It's all about showing them you can handle the chaos and keep everything running smoothly.
What kind of system or method could our listeners mention to show they've got this?
Well, maybe they use a specific system to prioritize orders. Maybe it's all about communication.
Like constantly checking in with the team to see what's most urgent.
Yeah. And don't forget, the career guide emphasizes collaboration, so make sure to mention that.
It's not a one-man show in a warehouse, right?
Definitely not.
All right, so they want someone who can handle multiple demands, stay organized.
And keep their cool under pressure.
Now, what kind of follow-up question could really dig into those prioritization skills?
They might throw a curveball like, describe a time when you had to totally switch gears.
Oh, like an unexpected situation popped up and messed up your whole plan.
Exactly. How did you handle that? They want to see that flexibility, that ability to adapt.
Because in a warehouse, things change all the time.
All the time.
So before we move on, I want to touch on how RoleCatcher can help with all of this.
Oh, right. Their AI is amazing for this.
It analyzes job descriptions and picks out the skills that matter most for that specific role.
It's like having a personalized guide so you know exactly what to emphasize.
It takes the guesswork out of it, right?
Totally. It's like having a secret weapon for your interview prep.
I love it. Now, are you ready to tackle some more questions?
I am on! All right, let's get technical. Time to show off that forklift expertise.
Yeah, interviewers want to know you can handle the machine, but also that you get the safety side of things.
Absolutely. And precision, attention to detail, it's all crucial.
Okay, first one. How do you ensure safety when operating a forklift? Seems simple enough.
Yeah, but don't just give a vague answer. You gotta be specific.
So, like, what kind of things should our listeners mention?
Definitely talk about those pre-operation checks, inspecting the tires, brakes, fluid levels.
Making sure everything's in tip-top shape before you even start.
Right. And knowing the load capacity, never exceeding it, super important.
Safety first.
Always. And maintaining clear visibility, following those safety procedures, the company's guidelines.
So it's all about showing you're proactive, you understand the risks.
Exactly. It's not just about knowing the rules, it's about living them.
All right, what's another question that digs into those technical details?
How about this one? How do you handle maintenance and repairs on a forklift?
Even if you're not a mechanic, knowing the basics is a good sign, right?
It shows you're responsible, you care about the equipment.
You're not just going to call for help every time a light bulb goes out.
Exactly. What kind of basic maintenance could they mention?
Checking tire pressure, cleaning and lubricating those moving parts.
Good ones. Maybe even knowing how to replace a simple component, like a light bulb.
That shows you're willing to get your hands dirty.
And the career guide actually mentions some companies offer on-the-job training for that stuff.
Oh, interesting. So highlighting that you're interested in learning can be a plus.
Definitely. Shows you're eager to grow.
All right, let's talk accuracy now, this one. How do you ensure accuracy when moving and stacking pallets?
This gets at your attention to detail, making sure you're not just tossing things around.
It's a warehouse, not a playground, right?
Exactly. You got to consider the weight distribution, the stability, the impact on other stuff.
And on the people working around you.
Of course. So what kind of specific actions could our listeners mention?
To show they're all about that precision.
Using the right equipment for the load, inspecting those pallets for damage before you move them,
Making sure everything is good to go.
and using guides or markers when stacking to get that perfect placement.
It's all about that meticulous approach.
Absolutely. Now, what if you're going for a more senior position and they hit you with this? Can you discuss your experience with inventory management and tracking?
Ooh, this is where you get to show off those extra skills.
If you've got experience beyond just operating the forklift, this is your time to shine.
So what kind of systems could they mention?
Anything they've used, barcode scanners, warehouse management software.
Even good old-fashioned pen and paper, if that's what they've worked with.
Exactly. The key is showing they understand how the whole warehouse works.
Not just their little corner of it.
They're part of the bigger picture.
What are some key things to emphasize when talking about inventory management?
Talk about how you keep track of incoming and outgoing goods.
Making sure everything is accounted for.
Spotting any discrepancies, reporting issues right away.
That proactive mindset again.
And maintaining a clean, organized workspace.
Because that helps with accuracy too, right?
Big time. Now, what follow-up questions could they get about their inventory experience?
Oh, they might ask, describe a time you found an inventory discrepancy. What did you do?
That's a good one. Or, how have you improved inventory accuracy in your previous roles?
They want to see how you think, how you take initiative.
And how you contribute to making things better.
All right, let's switch gears now and talk communication. How do you communicate with colleagues and supervisors while operating a forklift?
This is a tricky one. Gotta find that balance between staying aware of your surroundings.
And keeping those communication lines open.
You can't be chatting on the phone while moving a heavy load.
Definitely not. So how do you show them you can communicate effectively while staying focused?
Talk about using hand signals, the horn, making eye contact to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Nonverbal communication is key.
And when you're off the forklift, clear and concise communication.
Whether it's through radio, face-to-face, or even written reports.
It's all about being a team player.
What kind of follow-up question could dig into their communication style?
They might ask, tell me about a time when miscommunication caused a problem. How'd you handle it?
Oh, that's a tough one.
But it's a chance to show you can learn from mistakes, take responsibility.
Turn a negative into a positive.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about a question for those with more experience. Can you discuss a time when you had to train a new forklift operator?
Even if they haven't formally trained someone, they can still talk about helping colleagues, right?
Definitely. Sharing knowledge, mentoring someone less experienced.
It's all about showing those leadership qualities.
So what qualities should they highlight when talking about training?
Patience, definitely, and clear communication skills.
And that passion for passing on your knowledge.
Being a good teacher is an art.
It is. They could also talk about adapting their teaching style to different learners
Making sure the trainee really gets it.
and can apply it safely and effectively.
Before we wrap up this section, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah, their AI is awesome for more than just tailoring your answers.
It gives feedback on your delivery, too,
It's like having your own personal interview coach.
helping you refine your communication, boost that confidence.
It's a game changer, especially when those nerves start kicking in.
All right, are you ready to move on to the final part? We'll wrap up with some key takeaways and strategies to help you ace that interview and land that dream forklift operator job.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, we've covered so much, from telling your forklift origin story to getting super technical.
Yeah, we've hit it all. Safety, accuracy, even communication and leadership.
So are you feeling prepped and ready to rock that interview?
I hope so. Remember, it's not about memorizing answers.
It's about showcasing who you are and why you're the perfect fit for this job.
You got it. Let's do a quick recap of the key takeaways from our deep dive.
All right, hit me with number one.
Safety first, always.
It's non-negotiable, right?
You need to show them, procedures, that you're proactive about safety.
That you can clearly explain how important it is to you.
Mention those pre-operation checks, emphasize load capacity.
Talk about those company safety guidelines. Show them you're serious about it.
Exactly. Safety is a top priority in any warehouse environment.
All right, what's number two on our recap list?
Attention to detail. Accuracy is key.
Whether it's moving pallets, tracking inventory, following instructions, you got to be precise.
Talk about those visual checks, how you stay organized, your commitment to double-checking everything.
Show them you're meticulous, you take pride in your work.
You understand that accuracy keeps things running smoothly.
That's all connected.
Absolutely. All right, number three, communication.
It's not just about talking, it's about listening, understanding, conveying information clearly, using those hand signals.
Making eye contact, being aware of your surroundings.
And when you're off the forklift, clear and concise communication, whether it's radio, face-to-face.
Written reports, whatever it takes.
You got to be a team player.
And last but not least, remember, this job is more than just driving.
You're part of a bigger team, contributing to the whole warehouse operation. Don't be afraid to talk about your career goals. Maybe you want to learn about inventory management.
Or pursue more training. Show them you're looking to grow.
You're not just looking for a job, you're building a career.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher's AI tools. They can help you along the way.
Oh yeah, use those tools to analyze job descriptions, tailor your resume, practice your interview answers.
It's like having a personal assistant for your career.
I love it. Okay, before we wrap up, I have one final question for our listeners.
All right, hit them with it.
Imagine yourself 5 years from now. What kind of forklift operator do you want to be?
And how will this interview help you get there?
That's something to think about as you prepare, visualize your success.
We're rooting for you. Go out there and crush that interview.
And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher. They've got some amazing free resources and AI tools to help you along the way. Good luck out there.